Call to order the Planning Commission of the City of San Carlos, May 6th, 2019. Will you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We have roll call, please.
Certainly. Commissioner Roof?
Present.
Commissioner Iacopone?
Here.
Commissioner Dugan?
Here.
Vice Chair Bergman?
Present.
And Chair Bradley?
Here. First item is public comment. Public comment is limited to items not on the agenda. The Planning Commission may briefly respond to statements made or questions posed as allowed by the Brown Act. However, the Planning Commission's general policy is to refer items to the staff for their attention or have a matter placed on a future Planning Commission agenda for a more comprehensive action or report. Next item is, are there any public comments other than on the agenda? Very well. Next is approval of the minutes of our last meeting. Any comments or changes? I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll move to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Commissioner Roof?
Yes.
Commissioner Iacopone?
Yes.
Commissioner Dugan?
Yes.
Vice Chair Bergman?
Yes.
And Chair Bradley?
Yes. Thank you. Next item is a public hearing. Procedures for public hearings are the planning staff member will present a report on the history, physical features, etc. on the application, followed by the staff's recommendations. The applicant will then make a presentation. Thereafter, interested members of the community may speak on the proposal in support or opposition. When all interested parties have had an opportunity to be heard, the hearing will be closed and no further discussion from the floor can be held. The Planning Commission will then consider the evidence and make its recommendation. If you challenge a public hearing item in court, you may be limited to raising only those issues you or someone else has raised at the public hearing or in written correspondence delivered to the city at or prior to the public hearing. Speakers should fill out a speaker form found by the door over in the corner there and hand it to one of us or the secretary prior to addressing the commission. The speaker should come up to the microphone in the front of the room and speak, since the meeting is being recorded. The purpose of that is it will assist the planning staff in preparing our minutes. We have two cases before us tonight. The first is 817 Walnut, an application for a 4-story apartment building containing 24 residential units with an at-grade covered parking lot. The item has been continued to a date certain, that date being our next meeting, May 20th. So we'll consider it next time. One of our audience just left. The second item which we'll take up, which will be first now, is 959 Skyway Road. That's APN 046081770. Consideration of design review approval for the relocation of one freeway-oriented wall sign for Checkpoint Software Technologies.
Good evening, Chair Bradley and Planning Commissioners. At this point, I would really just like to introduce one of our newest city planners, and that is Kevin Beery. He's our new assistant city planner who joined us in about mid-February, February 19th, I think, to be exact. And Kevin will be processing tree removal permits. He evaluates business registrations, among other things, and one of those including processing of sign permits. So he will be processing all related sign permits, and because this one requires Planning Commission review, you have the opportunity to meet him, and he has the opportunity to present this evening. So I would just like to formally welcome Kevin.
Thank you, Lisa. Welcome to the staff and this Planning Commission meeting. Kevin, nice to meet you.
Thank you, Chair Bradley, and good to be here. So good evening, Chair Bradley and Commissioners. Tonight I am presenting an application for design review approval for the relocation of one freeway-oriented wall sign located at 959 Skyway Road. As you may know, Section 050 in Chapter 18.22 of the Municipal Code establishes the Planning Commission as the design review authority for all signs visible from Highway 101. The property at 959 Skyway Road is located between Highway 101 and the San Carlos Airport. The general plan land use is designated as general commercial industrial. The property is zoned as a planned development and is governed by Ordinance 1232, which establishes 600 square feet as the maximum area, total area of on-site signage. The sign is proposed to be relocated from the top right area of the southwest building face to the top left area of the southwest building face. The applicant has expressed that the primary reason for relocation is to achieve greater visibility from the US 101. This table shows the breakdown of the area of each sign located at 959 and 999 Skyway Road, which are on the same parcel. Existing signage includes 4 wall signs and 2 monument signs. The total area of on-site signage is approximately 360 square feet, which is significantly less than the 600 square foot allowed amount. If the relocation is approved, the area of the on-site signage will remain unchanged. This map shows the location of existing on-site signage. Note that Checkpoint Software Technology sign is the only wall sign located on 959 Skyway Road. This is the existing sign to be relocated. The applicant is not proposing any changes to the dimensions of the existing signs. The project is limited to relocating the existing sign. And I just wanted to point out that there is one inaccuracy on the staff report. It does indicate that the wall sign is 10.5 feet by 4.5 feet, but the actual sign is 3.4 feet by 17.3 feet. I just wanted to reiterate that there are no changes to the dimensions of the sign. This is a photograph pictured here on slide 6 of the existing sign. And on slide 7 is a rendering of the proposed sign on the top left area of the southwest building face. These are the required findings that the Planning Commission must make in order to grant design review approval. Staff has determined that the proposed sign relocation satisfies all rules and regulations established in Ordinance 1232 and the San Carlos Municipal Code. Staff recommends that the Commission approve the request for design review approval for the relocation of the Checkpoint Software Technology sign located at 959 Skyway Road. I'm here to answer any questions that you may have, and the applicant is also here to address any concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Any questions for staff?
Is there any change at all to the sign, the lighting or anything like that, or it's just a direct relocation?
There is no proposed change to the existing sign. It is limited to removing the sign and relocating it to the left side of the same.
Is it already LED or is it,
I will defer to the applicant. I believe some portions of it are illuminated.
okay.
Yeah.
And just so this is something I wasn't aware of, so the 600-foot limitation is per parcel, and we just happen to have two buildings on one parcel here?
Correct. There are two buildings on the parcel, and each building has its own address. One is 959 and one is 999.
Got it, but since they're on the same parcel, both buildings are limited to a total of 600?
Correct. Between both buildings, the maximum area is 600 square feet for both buildings.
Got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions of staff?
None for me, and I would reiterate, welcome, Kevin. Look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right.
Oh, yes.
Is the applicant? Go
Sorry,
ahead.
and I just wanted to let you know that this is a formal motion you would make if you choose to support the design review approval.
Great. If we could just hear from the applicant on the lighting and how efficient this sign is, how old it is, just kind of a quick overview.
Good evening, everyone. The sign is literally being removed the way it is and reinstalled. My job is to actually patch the wall, paint, match. The LED modules inside are not being changed. The drivers are not being changed, so it should have the same intensity as it has now.
And how old is this sign?
The sign I originally installed in 2000, I think 13. I did it.
I'm sorry,
I installed it in
2013?
2013, some
Okay,
time ago.
okay.
And it's still good. It looks just fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And the client wants to move it to the far left of the building, claiming that they occupy most of that property up on top, third floor, and that's closer to the freeway. And also, I think it better connects to their location more so than being on the far right. Makes sense. I don't argue with them on that, so my job is to get it done, so the reason doesn't matter. As long as you folks are okay with it, I should be fine.
All right. Would anyone like to close the public hearing? Oh, I'm sorry. We have to have time for any comments from the audience that you might have, sir, in the rear. No? Okay, then we can close the public hearing. And
I motion to close public hearing. Second that.
thank you.
Commissioner Roof,
Yes.
Commissioner Iacopone,
Yes.
Commissioner Dugan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bergman,
Yes.
and Chair Bradley.
Yes. Okay, so it's closed. Any discussion among the planning commissioners? Concerns?
No, but I'll make a formal motion.
Okay.
I move that the Planning Commission grant design review approval for the relocation of one freeway-oriented wall sign reading Checkpoint Software Technologies at 959 Skyway Road, San Carlos, APN 046-081-770, based on the required findings and for the reasons outlined in the staff report.
I second.
Thank you.
Commissioner Roof,
Yes.
Commissioner Iacopone,
Yes.
Commissioner Dugan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Bergman,
Yes.
and Chair Bradley.
Yes. Thank you. That was quite smooth. So congratulations. Good luck on the move.
Good luck on the paint match.
We're to come and check it out.
Good night. Next Next is reports, correspondence, general information, report on recent city council actions.
Staff has no reports regarding the council to share with the commission this evening.
And Planning Commission comments or reports. I would like to report that on April 30th that we had a meeting in the library at San Mateo City. There were 57 people in attendance, mostly new planning commissioners from cities within San Mateo County, and the subject was housing. I gave a short talk on ethics, and then the rest of the time was mostly on the housing dilemma or crisis that we have in Northern California, the Bay Area, and Mid-Peninsula here, for young people to be able to, anybody to be able to afford to rent or purchase, let alone purchase property to live near their job here. So I think it was well received, and I look forward to doing this in other counties around the Bay Area for training for new planning commissioners, help them to fit into their new appointed tasks. No date is set or no places yet for future meetings, but we'll do that. Thank you. And correspondence?
None for this evening, thank you.
I would just ask, could we get a quick update on, regretfully we'll be losing Commissioner Bergman pretty soon. Just an update on how many candidates we have right now for the open seat?
Certainly, staff, or I would say the city clerk's office received a total of 5 applications so far. We want to continue the recruitment period. I am not sure for how long it's going to be extended until, but in talking to the city clerk just this last Friday, we did agree to extend the deadline so that we have the opportunity to make further announcements and do more outreach in that recruitment effort. And this is both for Planning Commission and the RDRC. So the last time we had to do this, where we extended the deadline, the outreach efforts went quite well, and I think we had something like a total of 50 applications to review. So while we did get 5, we think it would better serve the city and give a broader pool for the council to consider as they make their new selection. Other things to update the commission with is that Shannon's last day would be the second meeting in June, and I think that falls on the 17th, if I remember correctly. So I certainly will be sorry to see you go, and I can't believe how much time has actually passed since you first joined the commission. It's definitely a marker of time. But also, while that will be Shannon's last date, we typically do appointments for the new the new Planning Commission chair and vice chair, as well as appoint someone to serve as the chair for the RDRC. So we'll be looking at doing that at the end of June. And while we have one position to fill, we have others that have been on the the commission for some time. So I think it's okay to go ahead and make the appointments, because you most likely wouldn't be appointing the new person as the chair or vice chair or RDRC member for the first go around, and that's how we typically have done it in the past. So that's the plan, and I can continue to update the commission as we go along, but our goal is to get the newly appointed commissioner seated in time for the July 1st meeting, the first regular meeting of the commission in July.
Yeah, great. Thank you for the update. I was, 2 weeks ago, there were only, I think, 2 applicants, so I was a little concerned about that. So I'm glad that deadline's been extended. Terrific.
My term of appointment ends now too, but I was asked if I wanted to extend for 3 more years, and I said that I would. So I think that's taken place already. So look forward to being with you and certainly going to miss Shannon.
Congratulations, and thank you for your extended service. It's a pleasure to serve with you.
I'm really going to miss this. I'm going to miss everyone, but you have to give other people a chance to have all the fun too. So I can't say enough for you, the staff. I don't know how you do it and how you keep us so informed, but I mean, without you, this city would not run. And I'm going to miss you guys. But I know you're in good hands. So, thank you.
You can always come back after a year or two, Shannon.
Well, that is it. What's the year? You have to wait a year before you can come back, or?
Well, there are current openings on the Park and Rec Commission as well, Shannon.
Oh.
A question for staff. At one point, we had discussed the idea of an update, maybe a quarter ahead, in terms of things that were on the staff's radar, maybe not date specific, but what kinds of items that we might be considering. So maybe at our next meeting, Lisa, if there's any, look out over the summer months before the summer break, I'll say material items that we should have in the back of mind, that'd be great.
Absolutely, and thank you for bringing that up. I can certainly put that on the staff update for the next meeting in May. But since you mentioned the summer recess, the council typically takes a summer recess every year, and then we also do the same, or we try to do the same for the Planning Commission. The only time whereby our hands are somewhat tied for that is should there be any state mandated requirements to review projects. And the one that really kind of comes to mind are wireless applications, because those are on a federally mandated shot clock time frame whereby we have to take them forward within certain time frames. But at this point, I don't have anything in the queue that would need to come before the Planning Commission. So most likely we will be able to have that summer recess with the Commission, but I will keep you posted as we move along. But certainly I can bring back a brief update for what's in the queue at our next meeting.
Thank you very much.
And what's the traditional, is that August for the summer recess?
Oh, yes, thank you. I mentioned summer, but I didn't mention the month. That would be August. So both meetings in August.
I don't think we've had that before on my tenure.
There must have been something important last year or a few years before, but we try to. If we can, I think it's nice to have. The only group, at least in the within the planning division where we take projects forward, is RDRC, and we've specifically chosen to continue any projects during the summer months because those are typically homeowners and residents working on projects, so we certainly don't want to delay them. But everyone else, if we can make it work, we will have our summer recess.
Any other staff comments, reports, or updates, current projects?
None for this evening.
Okay. Anything else? Then I'll adjourn our meeting.
23 minutes.
Right.